It's not really breaking. It's just we're going to talk about the ESPN stuff. But the new ESPN direct-to-consumer streaming service will become the exclusive U.S. domestic home of all WWE premium live events. This is not ESPN Plus. ESPN direct-to-consumer will cost $29.99 monthly. So here's the thing. When they first started putting this all out there this morning, everyone was melting down. Even I was on it. I was like, this could be a huge L for WWE. Because, like, if you look at how UFC pay-per-views did, like, once they went on ESPN Plus, like, I know 1-to-1 correlation doesn't equal causation all the time necessarily, but it's like, goddamn, it significantly dropped off, and pirating just went through the roof. I was super critical of this morning. Then I wasn't on social media all day, and then I came back on social media, and it was like ESPN, like, all the information was like, well, no, if you already own... Like, if you get ESPN, you get the PLEs. So this is like a massive W, right? WWE, the W stands for win. I think, right? Like, if you get ESPN, like, if you already have these packages, so like a lot of people are going to have access to WWE. However, if some people don't have any of this ESPN stuff, you got to pay $30 a month. So a lot of people are angry at this. But from a business standpoint, if you're just going business, yay business, it's good for them. It is. It's good that Roman Reigns gets to be like on ESPN next to like some of the greatest fighters and some of the great athletes in the world and stuff like that. You know, like that's a good thing for them. And that being said, for consumers, I just don't know if like we're let's go through all of this and try and break it down like as best as we can. So, and as we go through the bookmarks, we'll progressively more and more news and information gets released about what exactly this deal is. So, ESPN PR says starting in 2026, ESPN's DTC platform will be the U.S. home of every WWE premium live event that's in the U.S. So for me, it's just still on Netflix. So again, I threw it out there. I was like, I think more people will get VPNs and just watch Canadian Netflix than pay for this. I'm sorry, because the thing with ESPN Plus as well was like you pay for ESPN Plus every month, and then you get a discounted rate on the UFC pay-per-views. And it's like $10 off or $20 off or whatever. But you still got to pay for the pay-per-view every month. And people just all over that. And it's interesting because ESPN might be getting out of the USFC business again at the end of the year. Do they get out of the business or do they stay? Yeah, who knows? That might be why they're scooping up WWE. But yeah, so Fight Oracle says the new ESPN direct-to-consumer streaming service will become the exclusive U.S. domestic home of all WWE premium live events. This is not ESPN Plus. ESPN direct-to-consumer will cost $29.99 a month. So we read that aspect. People are boo-booing at that, right? So the ESPN deal is better than it appears. So Fight Oracle says Lightshed Partners analyst Brandon Ross says WWE ESPN deal even better than it appears. ESPN does not include library rights. So NFLX does not include NXT PLEs. So the NXT ones are still going to be on what? Peacock? I don't know. Obligation to produce 250 hours of ancillary original programming, and 5 docs year goes away. WWE saves on cost. So it's a 1.81 times step up from WWE's deal with Peacock. However, it is better than the headline number. The Peacock deal included domestic rights for a bunch of, but this deal doesn't. So WWE's like saving money on this. So on the purely business aspect, this is a fucking huge W for WWE. Absolutely. And like optics wise being on ESPN. But yeah, there's a lot of fans who, again, people shitted on the network. But here's the thing, man. Chat, you guys let me know. Are you going to pay the $30? Do you have to? Someone explain it. Someone who has access to ESPN or someone who's like, fuck, I got to go buy this now. Like, explain your story. Start telling me your stories in chat of how this all affects you guys, okay? And I'm going to check in with the people and see what the people have to say. But as far as business goes, like this is a huge W for them. And as far as international goes, it doesn't affect too much. And just in the US, though, it seems like you guys are getting dicked around with like, so do you got to have Peacock and ESPN, whatever the fuck? And, you know, it just seems like too much. It's all over the place. Moving along here. SmackDown on the USA Network and Peacock will be unaffected by the new ESPN deal. that will see PLEs move away from Peacock and onto ESPN platforms starting in 2026. SmackDown will continue to air live on the USA Network, then be available on Peacock, and that deal expires in 2029. So you guys are going like 3-4 places to watch shit now. Because Netflix as well. So you got to have Netflix, ESPN, and Peacock just to watch WWE if you want to consume all their shit. I don't know if as a consumer that's the fucking move, honestly. I think that's kind of wild. Now, there will be pundits out there. There will be a lot of people who will go, oh, this is the best thing ever. And yes, if you're just like a numbers guy, if you're just like, well, I'm only a fan because of the business and I own stock, so I care about, okay, then possibly. Okay, that's one perspective. But I think as someone who just consumes the shit and wants to be a fan, they're making it really difficult. And I don't know if you look at UFC, the way the ESPN Plus thing worked out. But that being said, I think that they clarified, like, I don't know why they led with this information. So there's conspiracy theories afoot of people saying, you know, they floated that information out there. They led with that information first as a mistake. And then there's some people floating out, no, they ran with that first to get people buzzing, talking, melting down. And then as the day progresses, more and more info comes out. And some people are saying, well, that's on the reporters because they just hear the first thing, they get it out there as quick as they can. And then they hear the next thing, and then they get that out as quick as they can. So I don't think that really matters. At the end of the day, there's sort of more clarification on who actually gets access to these shows and who actually has to pay for them, etc. But Disney is buying the NFL Network and Red Zone distribution rights. In return, the NFL will get a 10% stake in ESPN. So again, look at the way the now official deal could reshape the playbook of how leagues do business with their TV partners. And that came out as well. Disney, of course, owns ESPN, is ESPN. And so they're buying the NFL Network, and they just dropped a bunch of cash on WWE. So they're making big money moves here. And who knows if WWE eventually they work out a deal like that as well. Speaking of big money moves, and we'll stick to the ESPN stuff, but just a side note, the Saudi GEA chairman, Turki Al-Sheikh, recently revealed in a post that Saudi Arabia signed a major entertainment event for 2027, potentially hinting at Mania. So a huge entertainment event I just signed for 2027. A big surprise to be announced soon. Your happiness is our goal. WrestleMania, Abu Nasser. And Turkey just said, upside down, smiley, cool eyes. He likes to tease and work with the fans and give them what they want. And I think just don't be shocked if that's what it is, man. April 2027, WrestleMania, Saudi Arabia. Just, I would not be shocked at all. So here's Ariel Helwani, someone much more smart than I am when it comes to the ins and outs of this stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe some people would be like, not even close. But either way, here's his take on the ESPN broadcast deal and the DTC app, which is separate from ESPN Plus. So it's like, what if you're a guy who wants fights and you're paying for ESPN Plus and you want to watch WWE? Like, it's so fucking messy. Just make it one fucking thing. And the ESPN Plus app sucks fucking balls, okay? It fucking sucks. And they haven't refined it fully with UFC. So then now there's a new fucking app with WWE on it. Why don't you just put it on the same thing?
A Twitter account, TGQ chairman, who says, based on a press release, if you have ESPN through your cable provider, meaning Comcast, DirecTV, Hulu, Live Plus, YouTube TV, you get all the WWE pay-per-views for free at no extra charge, no paying the extra $30, which is something I said. But my question was, if you're just a Plus subscriber,
you do not.
Meaning you don't even have to be a Plus subscriber. It sounds like.
No, you have to be a cable subscriber of some sort. If you are getting ESPN,
yes, but you don't have to be a Plus package, subscriber.
YouTube TV, any of those things that provide ESPN broadcast coverage to you, you do not have to pay an additional for the $30 app that is DTC. That is for people who do not have that.
But what if you're just...
So do you guys hear that? I mean, that is a huge plus because a bunch of people have ESPN already. So it's just like the argument, like I get people are mad at it. People were mad when they went to Netflix too. But the argument was like, oh, fuck, people, like, they're going to Netflix. That's bullshit. And then most people argued, yeah, but think about everyone already has Netflix. So the idea, Brian, is like, okay, and I'm sure this is what ESPN and WWE juggled around. Like, how many people already have this thing. Well, we'll put our PLEs in front of them, and hopefully it's like a broader sports audience. And then I seen some articles being salacious too, like, ESPN wants like a diverse women and children crowd, like trying to make it this bad thing, but it's like they're putting WWE over. They're just saying like they're going to bring in more women and children, and wrestling's getting popular again, and more women and children are into wrestling, so they're going to bring more eyeballs hopefully over to our other sports too. I'm not sure how that translates necessarily, but yeah, and shout out the boys in the back, by the way, because they do decent work too, I suppose.
Sure. But what if you're just an $11.99 plus subscriber?
You do not get access. You would have to pay $30.
Is that true?
Or get cable.
Because like if you go on the ESPN Plus app right now,
I cannot watch ESPN programming on ESPN Plus.
Correct.
Because
I do not have
you don't have cable.
Correct.
But
fucking trash.
Question is, someone like myself, I have cable.
Yes, you will get it.
But let's say I don't have Plus.
It does not matter.
I still
will get it. Yes. It is part of the ESPN package, not the ESPN Plus package.
Interesting.
ESPN Plus is a completely separate thing. Now, the relevant question, the like interesting spin out for our world is like, well, what does that mean if UFC re-ups with ESPN? Do they?
Right. That's what I'm wondering. No one's talking about that.
Remain on Plus? Do they go to this direct-to-consumer thing?
This is the big question.
That is fascinating. By the way, you were talking about circling back for a second. You were talking about ESPN. If UFC splits up the pie, does the landing place still have it on pay-per-view, or is it a product like this WWE?
Ah, fuck! I wanted to hear what he had to say there.
A Twitter account.
But yeah, so like everyone thought, oh, I'm gonna have to pay for this new thing, but it's like if you already have ESPN provided to you in your cable package or whatever the fuck, then you get access to this too, right? Does it make sense? I just think they're giving you guys too many places to have to go watch WWE. But WWE PLEs available in the US in 2026 will be held on ESPN's new direct-to-consumer service, with select events simulcasted on ESPN's linear networks, according to CNBC. $30 a month or $300 per year. Instant reaction to WWE ESPN deal. Here's Fight Oracle. He says 1.8 times step up meets expectations, 2 to 2.2x Grand Slam. The 5-year term is surprising. Most analysts had 7 to 9 years penciled in. Surprised Netflix didn't do what it took to get the marquee PLEs. They do have them internationally. Yeah, why didn't Netflix go, hey, we need to scoop this up? Like, why didn't they fight for it? That's what fucking weirds me out. And Fight Oracle was like, maybe they're not happy with the PLE numbers. Like, maybe they don't do more than just the regular TV. But Alex Sherman says, some major sports news this morning. ESPN inks the deal. I'm told Disney is paying $325 million for the package per year for 5 years. Holy fuck, man. And they're talking about AEW's $185 million. ESPN is paying WWE an average of $325 million per year per 5 years. Peacock had previously paid $180 million per year for 5 years. And they give them less shit. Like WWE gives them less shit than Peacock. So this is like such a financial win for them. 1.8K step, in which is about what we expected. WWE PLEs were thought to step up slightly more than UFC. So ESPN, every WWE premium live event all in one place. Jimmy Pitaro says WWE has immense, devoted, and passionate fan base that we're excited to super serve on our new ESPN DTC platform. This agreement, which features the most significant WWE events of the year, bolsters our unprecedented content portfolio and helps drive our streaming future. So again, they're looking to like launch this app with the fucking help of WWE, like doing it off the back. Maybe it's because it's a proven commodity on Netflix. I just don't know why they didn't shill out the shekels to get it. So Nick Khan comments on the company's new deal with ESPN. He says WWE's agreement with ESPN is a pivotal moment for our millions of fans across the United States, the leader in sports entertainment, partnering with the biggest brand in sports media. Bringing WWE's flagship events to ESPN's platform is tremendously exciting. We know the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. So my take on it is nothing fucking changes for me. It's all Netflix and ESPN stuff. We have what's called TSN up here in old Canada here, and buddies, and they air ESPN shit as well. So I'm actually curious if like TSN has anything to do with this, and if shit is just more accessible to me. I mean, everything's easy for me out here. So whether you guys get a VPN, just go find one and get a deal. You pay a couple $100 up front for the year for that, or they're offering it for $300. Just pay for the fucking ESPN thing for the year, you know, or look up if there's a VPN doing a deal where it's like 130 for 3 years or something. You can find deals like that, man. So go on out there. I'm not sponsored by any VPN, so I'm not going to stooge which one I use or, you know, tell you guys about whatever. But yeah, get a VPN or just pay for the shit. I feel like I'm on the side of the consumer with this one, especially if we're going to see more cost cuts and they're like, hey, Cross, you need to take, like, we won't. I don't fucking know, man. You're jumbling around with guys like Cross and you're making these big deals, and that's good. I don't know how this changes. Like, now, what's the difference? Like, I was excited for the Netflix deal. Well, I'll tell you the difference besides just, oh, it's easier for me to watch it. I was excited for it because it changes live streaming and sports and everything for the future for everyone. WWE was like the fucking, let's dip our toes in the water here. So it's exciting. When it comes to this, it's like, I think they're just making it harder for people to watch their shit, which I don't know if that's as exciting. So I'm going to check in with chat here. That was breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. So let me check in with chat, and I'm going to read your guys', like, I want your stories. Hopefully you put some in there. Like, how does it honestly affect you? Because I'm genuinely curious. It's hard for me to have, like, as far as the business aspect goes, I think it's a great thing. As far as like, oh, you don't need to pay extra if you already have ESPN. Then it's like, I mean, cry me a river, right? If they fucking move from USA to some other station. But it's weird that they didn't lead with that news first. Like, hey, if you have this shit, don't worry. You don't need to pay an extra 30, but we are launching this thing where people can pay an extra 30, right? I'm just not entirely sure why it's not just on ESPN Plus. And then what's the deal with the UFC? So curious going into the end of the year. That's my take on it. Round of applause for WWE news.